We've got this and much more coming up.
Yeah, where was that sun? I don't know, guys. I didn't see any sun in that picture.
It's
Clouds,
coming.
pretty
It's
overcast
cloudy,
to me.
It is coming, but
All right.
not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah,
I'll hold you to that today.
Yeah, we'll wake up to the clouds first. But late day, you'll see sun. And you can see it there, 7, 9 a.m. You can see the cloudy icon. And then more sunshine building later in the day. And yeah, temperatures will be warming up to the mid to upper 80s for now. And you'll see humidity also falling later on, too. As well as get to the afternoon. So here's a look at your hour-by-hour planner. Temperatures in the upper 80s, more sunshine to come late in the day, and then temperatures, again, will continue to warm up into the upper 80s and even some spots in the metro possibly hitting 90 later on this afternoon. And I'll let you know about more shower chances coming up this morning as you wake up to a cloudy sky.
All right, thank you, Guy. Another look at the roads. Things are looking good. Again, it's been a good morning. No delays so far. Coming up, though, we're going to take a closer look at the Maple Grove area. As you know, lots of construction on 94 in that area. We're going to check in and see how the commute there is doing.
Thanks, Jen. With school starting in less than a month, the rise in COVID cases has schools and colleges rethinking how students return to the classroom. Today, St. Paul Public Schools will introduce resolutions requiring masks inside its buildings. Minneapolis schools already have the mandate in place. In the Anoka-Hennepin district, masks won't be required. At the U of M, students will need a mask and will soon need a COVID vaccine when they return to campus.
The U is requiring the COVID vaccine for students as soon as it's fully approved by the FDA. Hannah Conway is live at the U with more on what needs to happen before that policy is put in place. Hannah.
Good morning, Gia and Chris. That's right. Before students are required to get vaccinated here on campus, it must be fully approved by the FDA, which hasn't happened with any of the 3 vaccines. Right now, it's only under emergency use authorization. However, Dr. Fauci says the FDA should give the Pfizer vaccine full approval by the end of August. Once that happens, students will be required to get the vaccine. Right now, there is no set plan on how it will be enforced. As for faculty and staff, the U says they must either confirm whether they got the vaccine or commit to regular testing. But vaccination is not a condition of employment. A lot of mixed opinions on this. Take a listen to what one student we talked to said.
My personal choice is that I think it is safer and it's good for others, but I won't have any personal, ideas on people who are not vaccinated.
Minnesota law states when someone enrolls in college, they must provide proof of immunization or exemption of that. As for masks, everyone still needs to wear one inside U of M spaces. Chris and Gia, back to you.
Students beware if you're going to the U of M. Thanks a lot for that, Hannah. Other Minnesota colleges like St. Thomas, Macalester, and St. Olaf are also required COVID vaccinations this coming year. The University of Wisconsin still hasn't announced if it will require vaccines, but it is offering a scholarship drawing for vaccinated students for all its campuses besides Madison.
When it comes to vaccinations in Minnesota, the state still has not reached 70% of people 16 and over with at least a shot. We are very close, so as you can see, 69.5% right now. The daily cases, they keep going up. MDH numbers released yesterday show more than 1,100 new cases. Those are these blue bars here, and those are numbers that do include the weekend because there's no reporting on the weekend anymore. Still, it is troubling because we are reporting numbers above 600 last week. At the beginning of July, numbers were just above 100 new infections a day. And of course, the 2-week moving average is taking a curve up. Now, for a full list of schools and their mask and vaccine requirements, text the word vaccine to 763-797-7215. We'll text you back a link where you can read more.
Here's some other big stories in your morning rush. An Orono man back in jail this morning after being officially charged in a drunk driving crash that killed the son of the Gophers men's hockey coach. Court records show 51-year-old James Blue was driving 99 in a 45 zone when his Bentley left the road, hitting a tree. 24-year-old Sam Schuneman and 20-year-old Mac Motzko were in the car at the time. Both died. Investigators say Blue's blood level was more than twice the legal limit, and he had pills and THC gummies in his pocket. A new tactic to find who shot 3 kids in Minneapolis. Several agencies are offering up to $180,000 for info that leads to an arrest and conviction in the shootings. 10-year-old LaDavian Garrett Jr. is still fighting for his life, while 9-year-old Trinity Otteson Smith and 6-year-old Anaya Allen both died. Plans are in place for U.S. military members to get vaccinated for COVID by mid-September. President Biden is supporting the plan from the Pentagon. That mid-September deadline could get moved up if vaccines get final FDA approval or infection rates rise. The Twins starting their longest homestand this season on the wrong foot. The boys strike out 10 times against the White Sox. Final is 11-1 Chicago. What a blowout. Same 2 teams take the field tonight at Target Field. And that's your Tuesday Morning Rush.
2 hours Sunrise Live this morning. We're taking a live look at the Capitol. In the matter of hours, the Senate's expected to hold a final vote on the sweeping bipartisan infrastructure package. Once that gets done, Democrats are moving on to pass more legislation that aims to fund a number of things, including reducing the price of prescription drugs and making 2 years of community college free. Let's back up and explain. First, the bipartisan infrastructure bill. That is expected to pass because 19 Republicans have joined all 50 Democrats in the Senate in supporting the $1 trillion bill. But after that vote, Leader Chuck Schumer said they will immediately move to pass the Democrats' budget resolution, which will allow their party to craft a $3.5 trillion bill. And that's where those programs I mentioned, like free community college, come into play. You could call it the Democrats' Go It Alone plan, because they're using a process called budget reconciliation to pass the measure with a simple majority vote in the Senate, going around the filibuster, so they do not need Republicans to help pass this. Included in that bill, programs that would combat climate change. Democrats also hope to include universal pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds, and as I mentioned, make community college tuition free for 2 years and reduce prescription drug costs, among other things. The House is expected to consider both of these bills in September. So a lot going on there, but I think things like free community college tuition might get a lot of people's attention.
Yeah, and also with these, when they're passed, it'll be interesting to see how free that is. I mean, sometimes these things don't always sound, or they sound better than they are. So
yeah, but a lot of things that, will definitely impact us as we live our day-to-day lives.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Guy, one thing weather now with you.
Yeah, a couple showers and storms on radar this morning, very isolated. You can see developing from the southwest will continue to push off to the north and east as well as a few cells well into northern Minnesota. That will continue to track off to the east as well throughout the morning hours. I'll continue to track things out.
All right, taking a look at 35 southbound through Hugo this morning. Something going on the shoulder of the road here. Can't quite tell what that is, but traffic seems to be passing by just fine there.
Time to connect the dots where we make sense of the headlines. Some people who have recovered from COVID are rejecting the vaccine, but will natural immunity be enough to protect them? Let's connect the dots.
Health experts warn recovering from COVID-19 is not enough to protect from reinfection. While the antibodies from natural infection do provide some protections, the data shows the vaccines are much better at protecting you. In fact, a study published by the CDC found people with natural immunity were twice as likely to be reinfected than people who were vaccinated after recovering. That's leading doctors to recommend people who recover from COVID still get the shot. There's another issue with natural immunity. People infected with the virus are more likely not to have symptoms. That increases the risk that they'll spread COVID-19 to others, including immune-compromised friends, family, and children. While people fighting coronavirus for the second time do tend to have milder symptoms, that doesn't mean everyone's safe. There are exceptions, and reinfected patients are ending up hospitalized. In fact, one case presented in The Lancet found a 25-year-old man whose second bout with COVID was more severe than the first.
Yeah, that's, you don't want to hear that one. The second bout. First of all, you get a second bout, then it's worse than the first one.
Right. Hey, it's 6:09. Uncertainty with the COVID situation has some schools and families looking into alternative learning options. You don't want to miss this story because it could be the answer for your kids.
If you want a new credit card, now's the time to snag one. The best value cards out now, and how you can lower your payments on ones you already have.
And sustainability in home building at 6:45. The new design trends that not only look good, but could also save you money long after you move in.